Before we dive into the fascinating story of Emperor Palpatine's first defeat, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to stay up to date with the latest movie news and analysis. As a lifelong Star Wars enthusiast, I've always been captivated by the epic saga's intricate plot twists and memorable characters. One of the most poignant moments in the entire franchise is the events leading to Darth Vader's redemption in Return of the Jedi. However, before we explore that, let's take a step back and examine how Palpatine, the most powerful force of evil in the galaxy, met his match. At the peak of his power, Palpatine was the most influential figure across the entire cosmos. He spent decades strategizing, climbing the political ladder, and eventually securing the power needed to seize control completely. Ingeniously, he instigated the Clone Wars by manipulating both sides, thereby granting himself extraordinary powers and command over two armies. The intricate schemes that had been carefully crafted unraveled swiftly when he was defeated on the second Death Star. The malevolence Palpatine represented stood no chance against the powerful bond of a father and his son. And in just a brief span, everything Palpatine had painstakingly constructed over his lifetime was destroyed. Well, it took years for Palpatine's backup plans to resurrect him. But even then, his rule didn't endure long. So how did Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader ultimately succeed in defeating such a cunning adversary? One of Palpatine's major flaws was an unquenchable thirst for more power, a characteristic often associated with those who succumb to the dark side of the Force. Initially, Anakin Skywalker, as the chosen one and one of the most powerful Force users in the galaxy, seemed perfect as Palpatine's apprentice. However, the injuries Anakin sustained on Mustafar, which required him to wear his Darth Vader suit, significantly diminished his power, particularly in terms of physical prowess. And this reduction in power was a constant source of discomfort for Vader, and it negatively impacted his ability to use his powers effectively. Palpatine found this intolerable. In a turn of events, Luke Skywalker emerged as an ideal disciple for Emperor Palpatine, who aimed to replace Anakin Skywalker, Luke's father, at Darth Sidious's side. And as a son of great power, Luke was a suitable match for his father, and he had the physical freedom that Vader lacked due to his transformation. Moreover, Palpatine first saw Vader's eventual rebellion against him, so he devised a plan to take Luke as an apprentice and permanently dispose of Vader by using Luke to outmaneuver into it. So those things are similar using John Menu and John Manually, but also be bed and many into it and many and John Men may. What to use that? Death wasn't something Palpatine even had to think about because of essence transfer. This process, through the dark side of the Force, would allow Palpatine's spirit to take on another host if he were to ever be struck down. That was the key. The person who killed him had to complete the act in anger and hatred, as it would allow for them to become an ideal host for his spirit. As a devoted fan, I can't help but ponder over why Palpatine goaded Luke into striking him down on the second Death Star, It seems Palpatine had foreseen two possible outcomes, both favoring his dominance. If he survived, he was confident that he could manipulate Luke towards the dark side. Conversely, if he perished, Luke would still be a powerful Jedi, now tainted by the Sith Master's influence. Part of the reason why Palpatine was so sure of his victory in both life and death was because of the visions he had had of the future. The dark side gave him this insight, and it's very possible that a light side act, such as Vader's redemption, would have clouded Palpatine's own visions. And this is because canon has hinted at the inverse before, with the dark side clouding the Jedi's own visions of the future. And in harmony with this, Palpatine's fundamental misconception about the essence of love was evident. Being a person who had devoted his entire existence to the pursuit of power alone, Palpatine would never have envisioned that an emotion such as love could overpower him. It wasn't something he allowed himself to experience due to his relentless pursuit of ambition. Through his actions, Vader finally accomplished what was foretold about the Chosen One, a prophecy meant for him to fulfill as inherently disruptive beings. The Sith embody an imbalance within the Force, with the dark side representing a twisted deviation. By vanquishing his own Sith Master and rediscovering the light within himself, Vader managed to eliminate all remaining Sith and restore balance to the Force. The Jedi may have been unaware for many years that an imbalance existed in the Force, shrouded in darkness. However, this imbalance was indeed real, and it was Vader who ultimately eradicated it. After this action, the Sith didn't come back in their traditional form. Although Palpatine was revived, it wasn't certain, and Rey defeated him before he could inflict substantial harm on the galaxy. Kylo Ren never attained full Sith power, and Supreme Leader Snoke merely served as a stand-in for the emerging Sith Eternal. This implies that even after the emergence of the First Order and Palpatine's long-term manipulations, Vader's sacrifice remains significant. In the end, it was Vader who ultimately wiped out the Sith. As a die-hard Star Wars fan, I eagerly anticipate Rey's next adventure in the New Jedi Order, which promises a new breed of villain unconnected to the Sith. Although Vader's actions in Return of the Jedi are ancient history, they remain pivotal. Palpatine was an adversary who couldn't be vanquished easily, but through his own miscalculations and unforeseen events, Luke and Vader managed to bring him down. The first defeat of Palpatine in Star Wars will forever hold a special place, as he never truly recovered from that decisive confrontation on the second Death Star. That fateful moment marked the beginning of the end for the Empire's tyrant system. And on a lighter note, I guess you could say Palpatine's greatest weakness was his own ego. After all, who needs a lightsaber when you've got a bad case of hubris? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, you should have any small